For decades, Israel and Iran waged a hidden war. Spies, sabotage, and proxy militias shaping the Middle East from the shadows. But now the conflict is out in the open. Direct missile and drone strikes have shattered the old rules, pushing the region to the brink. The stakes are global. A nuclear threshold Iran, a militarily advanced Israel, and superpowers drawn into the fray. This rivalry is the axis around which much of the region's turmoil spins, fueling groups like Hezbollah and Hamas, and stoking tensions from the Persian Gulf to the Red Sea. The recent escalation has made the unthinkable real. To understand today's headlines, we must trace how a quiet partnership became a bitter enmity. This is the story of how revolutionary zeal, strategic ambition, and deep mistrust forged a cycle of violence lasting over 40 years. From Lebanon's valleys to cyber warfare labs, the conflict has evolved but never relented. Now, with open fighting, the world wonders, can diplomacy avert catastrophe, or is a wider war inevitable? The journey from allies to adversaries explains the region's volatility, and the fear driving both nations' policies. To grasp the peril of this moment, we must look back at the history that brought us here. The fate of millions hangs in the balance. Once, Israel and Iran were unlikely partners bound by shared interests against Arab nationalist states. Under the Shah, Iran supplied Israel with oil, and military cooperation flourished, all under the radar. This pragmatic alliance shaped the region's balance of power. But in 1979, everything changed. The Iranian Revolution toppled the Shah and brought Ayatollah Khomeini to power, replacing pro-Western policies with fierce anti-American and anti-Israeli ideology. Israel became the Little Satan, and all ties were severed overnight. The Israeli embassy in Tehran was handed to the PLO, a clear signal of Iran's new direction. Opposition to Israel became a core tenet of the Islamic Republic. The old friendship was buried, replaced by a rivalry that would define the region for decades. The revolution didn't just change Iran's government, it redefined its identity and foreign policy. A new era of confrontation had begun. In the 1980s, Iran turned to proxy warfare, supporting groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Gaza to fight Israel indirectly. Hezbollah, created with IRGC support, became Iran's most powerful proxy, waging a relentless guerrilla war against Israel. Iran's strategy encircle and exhaust Israel through a ring of fire. Israel countered with covert operations, targeted strikes, assassinations, and intelligence campaigns to disrupt Iran's networks. This deadly cat-and-mouse game defined the conflict for decades, with both sides escalating attacks while avoiding direct war. Responsibility was often murky, allowing deniability and constant escalation. The proxy war became the new normal, occasionally boiling over but never erupting into full-scale confrontation. The shadow conflict shaped the region's landscape, always threatening to ignite something bigger. The 21st century brought a new front: Iran's secret nuclear program. For Israel, a nuclear Iran was an existential threat, one it vowed to prevent at any cost. The shadow war escalated into cyber attacks and assassinations. The Stuxnet virus, likely a US-Israeli operation, sabotaged Iran's nuclear centrifuges, a landmark in cyber warfare. Iranian nuclear scientists were killed in targeted attacks, sending a chilling message. Iran accused Israel, vowing revenge and accelerating its nuclear efforts. The 2015 nuclear deal offered a brief pause, but its collapse reignited tensions. The covert war never stopped, it simply evolved, with both sides locked in a high-stakes struggle beneath the surface. The nuclear issue raised the conflict to unprecedented danger. The 2010s saw Iran expand its influence, building the axis of resistance across Syria, Iraq, and Yemen. The Syrian civil war let Iran entrench forces near Israel, a red line for Israeli security. Israel responded with relentless airstrikes in Syria, targeting Iranian assets while avoiding open war. The conflict exploded after the October 7, 2023, Hamas attack on Israel, an Iranian-backed proxy operation. Hezbollah, the Houthis, and militias in Iraq and Syria joined the fray, turning the shadow war into a multi-front crisis. Israel faced daily attacks from multiple directions, fighting in Gaza and skirmishing with Hezbollah. The region became a tinderbox, with every move risking massive escalation. The long-feared scenario of coordinated proxy attacks was now reality. Strategic calculations were tested in real time, with both sides daring the other to cross a red line. The war between the wars was over. A real multi-front conflict had begun. In April 2024, the conflict reached a new level. An Israeli strike in Damascus killed top Iranian commanders, crossing a red line by hitting a diplomatic site. Iran responded with an unprecedented direct attack, over 300 drones and missiles launched at Israel. Israel's air defenses, aided by allies, intercepted most projectiles, but the taboo of direct confrontation was broken. The world braced for all-out war as diplomats scrambled to de-escalate. Israel's response was measured, a symbolic strike near Isfahan, deep inside Iran, signaling capability without provoking further escalation. The old rules of deniability and proxy warfare were gone. Both sides had shown willingness for direct state-on-state attacks. The region remains on a knife's edge, where a single miscalculation could ignite catastrophe. The next chapter is unwritten, but its outcome will shape the Middle East and the world for years to come.